interested in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel where we combine ASMR and sports and we talk about it. It's basically what we do. I am recording this on September 11th, and I just want to remember the events that happened on September 11th. I was in 8th grade, or I wasn't in 8th grade, I was in 10th grade when that happened, and it still hits home a lot. Even though I was not in New York City, I was in Georgia. I'll never forget. It is something that you don't forget ever, as a person and as a nation. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and say that. Ironically enough, I read that the first game back from those tragic events 24 years ago, it was the Commanders, or formerly known as the Redskins, and the Packers that played. So it's kind of fitting that on the 24th anniversary, on a Thursday night, that it is the Packers and the Commanders that are playing. So with that being said, yeah, and I also just, I don't want to make things political, and if this isn't for you, you can skip through it. It's going to be about 30 seconds. The events yesterday were awful. There was, uncalled for things that happened, not only in a school, but to Charlie Kirk, and I just want to make light of that no matter where we are in life, it's not okay to do any of it. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand. Sorry. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, let's get back to the video, and let's get back to fun stuff and not be so sad and somber and whatever feelings you are feeling. I have my phone. I'm trying to think like what I can do to make this more enjoyable to watch, but I really just like setting up a camera and looking at my phone and doing that. So maybe when I learn how to screen record, we'll put the phone here, but I don't know how to do that, so here we are. Yeah, so tonight we have the Commanders and the Packers. I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think that this is a playoff matchup that could happen later on in the year, when the playoffs run around. The Packers, it is in Lambeau. They are only favored by 3.5 points. I could see it go either way here, but if the Packers play like they did against the Lions, I think the Packers win this game, and that is who I am going to go with. I am a Packer fan, so of course I want the Packers to win. Of course I want them to do well, but I think the Commanders are a team that could give the Packers fits. I think it'll be close. I'm going to say it's going to be like 23-21, and the Packers will pull it out. Alright, so Sunday's slate of games, we have the Rams and the Titans. I think the Rams win. They're favored by 5.5 points. What I'm looking for in this game, though, is that Cam Ward takes that step as in a leadership quarterback role and just relies on being able, or if it's not relies on being able, just settles and knows that he has the talent and he gets the ball there. That's what I'm actually looking for, is to see if Cam Ward can grow from last week to this week. That's all you're asking for, but I do think the Rams will win. We have the Jaguars and the Bengals. To address my fantasy football video, if you haven't watched it, check it out. I talked to my commissioner, and Travis Hunter is going to be scored as a wide receiver and a defensive player in our league. I don't agree with it, and I think next year we're going to change it, but as for this year, there's nothing I can do about it. I can just throw a fit, and that's all. Cincinnati is favored by 3.5 points. I actually didn't think Cincinnati looked great against the Browns. I could see this game going either way. I think shake off that loss last week and just beat the Browns. The Bills and the Jets. I think the Bills win. I don't even know if it'll be close. But the Jets did look okay last week. But I just think the Bills win. Another interesting matchup is going to be the Patriots and the Dolphins. Both teams didn't look great. The Dolphins really didn't look good. I think that, well, Miami's favored by a half of a point, or 1.5 points here. I think if McDaniels wants to keep his job, he has to win this week. Mike Vrabel, I think I might have to pause it. The dogs are acting crazy. The dogs are acting crazy today. There's 2 dogs in this house, and one is a little dog, and one is a boxer. And the little dog, I don't know, gets like a bug up his butt, and he acts feral. And he has one of those bugs up his butt today. He is a feral animal right now, and it is not fun to be around him. I love him though, but he's not fun. But I think the Patriots win. I really, like, the Dolphins looked really bad. The only, like, bright spot was Achan. That was the bright spot. 49ers Saints, in all honesty, I thought this game would be, like, the 49ers a win, but I think the Saints actually have a chance in this. Brock Purdy is going to be out, I think, 2 to 5 weeks, and George Kittle isn't there, so what? I don't even know who the backup is. It Jimmy G? No, Jimmy G's in LA. I don't even know who the backup is in San Francisco. Let's see if it says anything here. Brock Purdy is doubtful. Let's see the full list of players. We're gonna look at the full list of players. Let's look at it by team. San Francisco. Let's see their roster. Actually, let's see their depth chart. Okay. Their backup quarterback is Mac Jones. I actually think the Saints win this game. They're home. There's a lot going on in San Francisco. As far as injuries go, I think the Saints win. And Chris Olave has 2 touchdowns. The next game is going to be the Giants and the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win. I don't see anytime soon the Giants being able to keep up with the Cowboys. So hang on. Sorry, I don't normally drink or eat on camera. I think it's gross, but my throat is hurting, so there's like seasonal allergies going on, and I just needed to have some Diet Coke. I know I should probably have water, but I'm a Diet Coke girl, so here we are. So I'm gonna have the Cowboys. Then there's the Bears and the Lions. They are in Detroit. I think Detroit bounces back. I think that they're gonna hear the criticism and they're gonna want to prove to everybody that they are the team that we thought they were. I think, again, Caleb Williams is good, and I think the Bears will eventually be good. It's just going to take some time. We have the Seahawks and the Steelers. I think that'll be an interesting game. I do think the Steelers will win. They are favored by 3.5 points. I don't think Sam Darnold is the guy. Again, it's early on, but it's different when you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, and like the Vikings compared to the Seahawks. I just think that, and Kevin O'Connell as your coach, I think that's gonna make a big difference. So to me, I think the Steelers win. The Broncos and the Colts, and the Broncos are favored by a 1.5. If the Colts team that showed up against Miami shows up against Denver, because Denver didn't look good. They didn't look as good. I don't want to say they didn't look good because I'll get roasted, but they didn't look as good as we thought they were going to. I think the Colts have a chance to win, but I am going to take the Broncos here. I just think that they're just a slightly better team. Panthers and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are, the spread is 6.5. I think the Cardinals win. I really, I know in like my NFL prediction or like my off season, like too early to tell. I like thought the Panthers would be like this dark horse team in the NFC South, but I don't know. Bryce Young isn't. I don't think he's the guy, and I loved him in Alabama, but I don't think he's the guy. So I think the Cardinals. I think they have the pieces, and the puzzle just isn't fitting together. So, with that being said, I think the Cardinals will win. The Eagles and the Chiefs is a game that I'm really looking forward to. I think the Eagles win. I think that, again, the Chiefs are notoriously a slow starting team at the beginning of the season. I think the Eagles might overpower them on both sides of the ball. It'll be interesting, but I do think the Eagles will win. I am going to go ahead and say, since it's going to be in Kansas City, that Taylor Swift will be there, and that Fox will make sure you know that Taylor Swift will be there. As a former Swiftie, actually, I technically still am a Swiftie, just not to the crazy amount of parasocialism that is going on. Like, I don't think we're best friends, and whatever, I do enjoy listening to her music every now and then. The Falcons and the Vikings, I think that'll be an interesting game. JJ McCarthy showed out. He looked good. He looked good in the second half. He didn't look good the whole game. I think that Christian Darrisaw might be back for that offensive line, which will help JJ be better and maybe help the run game a little bit better. The Falcons, I mean, that was a tough loss last week. Michael Penix looked great. They have to get the running game going. I don't know if Drake London is gonna go, but you know, the Falcons are a decent team. I like the Falcons. I think, you know, and that's coming from somebody that doesn't like the Falcons. I've been to enough Atlanta games. I used to, in my previous life, before I moved to Florida, I worked with the stadium, and I would be at those games all the time. I think the Falcons win. So, the Falcons-Vikings is the Sunday night game, and then there's two Monday night games. We have the Buccaneers and the Texans, and the Raiders and the Chargers. So the first one, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, is the Buccaneers and the Texans. I think the Buccaneers win. I know the Texans are favored, but it's just because they're playing at home. I think the Buccaneers take last week, and they learn from that. I don't know about the Texans. I didn't really get to watch the game last week. And then the Chargers and the Raiders. The Chargers are favored by 3.5 points. They're in Vegas. That'll be an interesting game. I'm kind of excited to see that. I will be on a cruise ship, so I probably won't be able to see it